well, I guess I will put it on everyone's radar that we may have a special meeting coming up. It's been requested by Mr. Heath and wanted to, so he can give us an update on something, but I think we might even, if we find the calendar is open, we might move next month's meeting up to the first instead of the second meeting of the month like we have been meeting. And because he wanted to give us a sort of an early update, would you like to
Sure.
expand on that a little bit?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. James Heath, Wayne County Corporation Counsel.
Good afternoon, Gregory Hurst, Director of Facilities Management and Planning.
Good afternoon, Aaron Wagner, Chief Administrative Officer.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson, for the segue into the special meeting. As you know, the September 3rd deadline or September target date for
James, excuse me just a second. I failed to get the approval on the minutes
sorry
from
about
the
that.
previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Baydoun and seconded by Commissioner Clemente to approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the minutes have been approved. And please continue.
Thank you. So our deadline, our target date for the CJC to be open to the public is, as I reported to you last month, still September 3rd, 2024, the day after Labor Day. That's the day where the general public will be able to come and use the CJC for all of its intended purposes. Since transition occurred earlier this spring, though, we've been having transition teams associated with each of the user groups begin to set up shop and work out of those offices. Their primary function has been to prepare the way for their colleagues who will be moving over. That move for folks who are doing the substantive day-to-day work at the prosecutor's office, at the clerk's office, sheriff's department, all of the end users will begin in mid-August. And so when we talk about the heavy transition, that's what we mean. Folks who will stop doing their work in our existing facilities, start doing it over at the CJC. And so that's a milestone, a major point for us, and something that Greg and his team at FMP and Aaron and I have been preparing for diligently. The commission, this committee has asked about an update on kind of laying out the transition schedule and how things are going to go and the like. And I thought that it would be best if we have that discussion and you can hear from the transition leaders and the like prior to that move happening. And so if we waited until our next regularly scheduled meeting, we would be into that process. And so that's why I suggested that perhaps the first part of August might make some sense.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Okay, a couple of things. As you're doing that, I'm particularly focused in on the transition of the jails and how that is going to be done as far as the occupants of the old jails transitioning into this new facility. And just because I think I've asked at a couple of meetings, maybe not here, but when items have come before Ways and Means, whether or not there were any consultants associated with, giving some guidance with us doing this, large move. So I'm not sure if there's any consultants that's helping with the transition from that standpoint. Also, the committee has asked, and we've been on tours as this building was being constructed. I think it's important for us to be able to see the completed building. I think it's very important. And I think it would make sense for us to actually see this building before people start moving in, particularly the jail portion. It's going to be kind of hard to go through and tour the jail when you have, inmates inside of the facility. So I'm just saying, so I know you all said you wanted to get to a certain point, but it seems like we pretty much should be there. Yeah.
We have, just to answer it a little bit, and then James, touch on, I'm sure, but there's been consultation with Tim on our behalf and with James, and maybe you want to address it right now.
Yeah, so I'll take your questions in order.
Oh, yeah.
So as you know, we are working with consultants with respect to transition overall, and we do have some specific, as you can imagine, the ADF being the most complicated building and transition that has to occur, that is where so much of our transition work is occurring with our outside consultants. The move of actual inmates is information that rightfully the sheriff's department is guarding pretty closely, just because, you know, they don't want to announce to the world. This is
But
where
I'm
we're
saying
moving.
you, but even with that, is there someone in administration? Is someone in administration? Because, you know, yes, I understand it's a security question, but is someone in administration, yourself or someone aware of what that plan is, for the purpose of just, being aware that it, you know, will fit within how the other components are coming into place?
Yes, yes. And within that context, so I'm just saying that you know, that's a pretty small circle of folks who know some of those intimate details. What I will say though, is that, you know, the sheriff's department of any entity who knows what it takes to move inmates from here to there are just about the most expert you're going to find in the area, you know, in doing so. And, you know, because they're really the only ones locally who have done it in a large scale move over the last several years. So we are very confident in the sheriff's department ability to plan this out and execute it. And we have had a number of conversations with the top leadership there, and that is something that we believe is going to go exceedingly smoothly. So your concern on that is it's a good question, and it's something that we're looking at very closely, Commissioner. As to the tours, there is probably no group more important in terms of a tour, and I don't just say that because I'm on your microphone at your table, who needs to see the facility. And so I have been in touch with your staff about setting up tours, and I assure you're the most important constituency for that. We have gotten dozens and dozens and dozens of requests from all sorts of people, and we have been pushing it off for a couple of reasons, and this is the reason. Because of the security issues in place and all of those things, and ongoing construction, and Greg will talk to you about, you know, even work that's going on now. Whenever we have people in the building who are not directly engaged in getting that building ready, it takes away from that effort. That being said, well in advance of that building being populated by, if you're Commissioner Kinloch, if you're talking about inmates, if you're talking about the general public, this commission will have an opportunity to do another tour of the finished product. Rest assured of that, and we are getting very, very close to that point, and we'll be able to give you some dates and get some understanding of the areas that are of most concern to you all. But you have my word that will happen prior to this building being populated with folks that this commission, and I think especially this entire commission, but especially the committee who we've been doing this together for however many years at this point. So you'll be able to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Commissioner Baydun.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. James, you mentioned that in the middle of August, some of the new occupants of the CJC will be moving in, and they will be operational in the middle of August. From now until August, we have about maybe like 3 weeks. Are we going to be completely done in terms of last minute details, if you will? Are we still working on that list of the punch list? Are we still working on that?
The punch list is still being worked on. There will be no remaining work that will in any way impede the activities of the facility, though, in terms of that. There are some projects, for instance, one of the major issues that the court has been interested in, we've talked about kind of our post-turnover construction projects. The most important, for instance, to the courts is the transformation of 2 non-jury courtrooms into jury courtrooms. That work is ongoing right now, scheduled to be complete by September 3rd, but work is going to be going up until that point, Commissioner,
So
on a project like that.
Before the courts become operational, all the construction people will be out of the way, and then we'll have a security sweep, obviously, of all that area. That has to be swept, right, by the security, making sure that,
Yes, although luckily the courtrooms are not as secure of a place as the
the
ADF,
jail.
for instance, right?
Okay.
Because that's a place obviously that the public is going to come to every day. But I cite that courtroom transformation as an example of ongoing work that is going to be worked on up until the September 3rd date. Our contractors tell us that it will be completed by then, and that's our expectation. But none of the work that we'll be doing, whether post-turnover construction, some of which is planned to continue after we work on this building that we're in right now as we operate out of it, as you know. None of the work that will be done at the facility will impede the operation of the facility, though, and that's the most important thing from our.
Do you
from our
have
management.
any tentative dates for us to tour the new facility or not yet? You don't have any tentative dates?
I don't. I think it'll be. We're talking probably after the first, probably around the first week of August. I'm guessing before people move in, but we'll be able to give you more specific dates as we continue with some of the work that's ongoing there.
I would like to suggest, if you don't mind, to keep in mind Mondays, because we don't have committee meetings on Tuesday. We don't have meetings on Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We might have full board meeting and committee meetings, and then we have the budget season also
Ways and
kicking off.
Means. Ways and Means. We have-
Ways and Means.
So
So
are you saying Mondays are generally better? Is that?
I think from my perspective,
Monday, yeah, mine too.
yeah, I don't know if you feel the same way.
No need to debate it. It will be a Monday.
James, I just wanted to clarify something with you. You said that there would not be any, as far as the function of the court or any of the departments or the users, as to takes place. But I'm wondering, is that going to impede them moving into the facility, any of the end users, which would then trigger the 6-month, we'd run into that end date?
Not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
okay,
Not at all.
all right. Any other questions? I know there's another meeting scheduled on, as was mentioned, in 10 minutes. And any other questions by the commissioners? James, do you have anything else you want to update us on right at this time? And we'll look at setting the first, if we can get everything cleared and not have any committee meetings that we're competing with the space for the 1st of August.
I think I'll stop while I'm ahead, Commissioner. Unless my colleagues have something they want to add.
Anything else? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to, we've got, sorry. Madam Clerk.
I do have one thing that I
Okay.
want to make you aware,
Sure.
and because I have spoken with Commissioner Kinlock,
Mhm.
one of the things that we're going to intend to do is have community greeters for the first week or two for our employees. So they get out their car, hey, welcome to the CJC. It's going to be a new parking area and the like. And so we're going to be setting up a process of how we bring people in to perform those. And I'm thinking in the mornings, just so our new employees who are new to that place will have a welcoming experience and direct them in that regard. And so as we kind of formalize that, I'll let the commission know if you got any thoughts or ideas about that. But I think it's an important touch that will aid to the experience that our employees have.
So I have a recommendation. Since this is in Kinlock's district, I suggest that he should be passing hot dogs on the first few days.
I got a white hat and we're all set for that. And just to that point, I've already spoken with Commissioner Kinlock about it being his district and he's volunteered to help. So just wanted to make that point.
Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I have received nothing. Have you received anything? Okay. Next item.
F, public comments.
Did you receive anything online, emails or messages?
No public comments have been received.
Okay. Anyone present? Anyone present have any comments or questions? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.